Okay, so today I'm going to be going through a podcast for the module PN4048. So to start, I'm going to go through the issue and the theme. So where exactly did my thinking start? So I looked at my fourth year teaching practice. So I looked at the observation and the experience that I encounter while out in teaching practice. I also looked at the reflections that I've done and also the feedback that I received from the tutors. So when looking at the feedback, I found two areas for improvement, which were questioning and differentiation. So once I'd found these, I then began to base these two themes and issues, or kind of involve them into my research question. So moving on to my actual research question. So how does the implementation of effective questioning affect a differentiated classroom? So you can see the two themes of effective questioning and differentiation running within this question. So, the literature review. I began to look at effective questioning literature first. So I looked at William W. Willen and Ambrose A. Clegg Jr.'s book, Effective Questions and Questioning Techniques. So within this, they were talking about the different questioning techniques. So like wait time, open and close questionings, and kind of like higher and lower order questions, and what effect they have on students in the classroom. So Chris Kyriakou does a book basically on teaching, but one area is questioning. So I was looking at this as well. So he went through again the different questioning techniques used in the classroom, again wait time and higher and lower order questions. So moving on to the second theme, which was differentiation, analysing differentiation in the classroom by Joyce Van Tassel Basca. She was talking about the different areas of differentiation, which are kind of like mixed gender, mixed ability, and the different cultures within the classroom. Susan Watts Taff, in her book, then went on. She kind of talked about the different areas and different aspects of differentiation again, so the culture, the genders, and the mixed ability, but she kind of gave ideas to tackle these areas of differentiation. So, methodology. If I was to conduct this research question or this research, I would use mixed methodology. The main reason was because it aligns with my paradigms that I believe in. So the paradigms that I believed in were the positivist and the constructivist. So I was in between the two of them because I could see the value of both of them. So I then began to look at exploratory research design. So within this, you have a qualitative piece of research, and then you also have a quantitative piece of research, with the quantitative piece of research backing up the qualitative. So for the qualitative piece of research, the different methods that I would use would be interviews. The interviews would be with the students and the teachers, and then once the interviews had been conducted, I would go back and use focus groups to then allow the teachers and students to kind of like put their ideas and thoughts together. So then for the quantitative, I would use questionnaires and surveys. So on the right you can see kind of like a funnel. So the way I would use this is the questions would be broad at the start, but then they would then narrow down into the kind of key areas and the key information that was once received in the interviews and the focus groups. So implementations for practice. So where can this be used in secondary schools, and how can it kind of like change secondary schools? So critical thinking. So it can allow our students to develop their ability to think critically about areas. So especially within our subject of engineering, when they're doing a project. So think about different areas before actually constructing or start to manufacturing. So to cater for differentiation. So the team going through this was differentiation. So hopefully, if this was conducted, it could cope and it could help tackle differentiation in the classroom. And also, one final piece was hopefully it would change the whole idea of education being a sieve. So it was sieving out the kind of like the students who weren't able and they were kind of ready for the world of work, and it would then kind of like turn education into kind of a ladder kind of perspective, where all students were able to go through school, get the degree that they needed, and come out the other end of it. So that's my podcast based around my research question.